by Nuril, a woman who spoke up about harassment, but instead of being protected, she was punished. Her voice wasn't heard, it was turned against her. Jeffrey Epstein, for years, his victims spoke. They told their stories, they asked for help, but the world chose not to listen until it was late. So maybe the problem is not that victims are silenced. Maybe the problem is we are not listening, because the truth is it's easier to ignore, easier to doubt, and it's easier to stay comfortable than to face something that makes us uncomfortable. My name is Arham. Let me ask you something. Have you ever want to speak but felt like you couldn't? Not because you didn't have a voice, but because no one really listening. Last year, I had a friend who went through something unfair. She was blamed, even though she was the victim, but honestly, that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was she chose to stay silent, not because she was weak, but because she was afraid of not being believed, afraid of being judged, afraid of being told that she was overreacting. And then when I realized something, it's not that victims are silenced. It's that we are not listening, and this is not just a story. This is reality. In Indonesia, cases of violence are still rising. In 2024 alone, there were more than 31,000 reported of cases of violence, and most of the victims were women. And in just the first half of 2025, over 1100,000 cases had been already reported. But here's the truth. These numbers are not only what we can see. Many more victims never report at all because they are afraid, because they are not supported, because they feel no one will listen. And it's not just only happening here. Around the world, we have seen movements like Me Too movement, where thousands of victims finally spoke up after years of silence. Victims are not silent, they are silenced. We often think justice is simple. If something is wrong, just report it. If someone is a victim, they will be protected. But reality is not that simple. So many voices, but so little response. I still remember what my friends once told me. It's better to stay silent than to be blamed again. That sentence stayed with me because it reveals a painful truth. First, many victims are not protected. They are questioned, they are doubted, sometimes they are blamed. We are living in a world where victims sometimes feel staying safer, staying silent than telling the truth. Friends, justice is not only about laws. It is also about the courage to listen. Many victims do not need quick solution or long advice. Sometimes they just need one simple sentence, that I believe you. Second, listening is not passive. It is an active of justice. We may not be judges or lawyers, but we can be human. Today, I'm not standing here as someone who knows everything about justice. I'm standing here as Arham, someone who is still learning that every voice matters, and more importantly, that every voice deserves to be heard. Third, change does not always with big action. Sometimes it starts with a simple choice. They choose to listen, so if there is one thing we can take home today, let it be this. We may not be able to change the world, but we can choose to listen. And sometimes that simple choice is enough to make someone feel seen, heard, and no longer invisible. Because in the end, the problem is not that victims have no voice. The problem is we choose not to hear them. Thank you.